Hello, I'm Ariel Daniel with the Lowell Observatory, and here's what's in the sky this December. Venus remains in the morning side of the sky and will be visible just before dawn. Mars will be up for most of the night, passing through the constellation Pisces. This month's new moon will be on December 14th, and the full moon will be on December 30th. Jupiter and Saturn will be near each other in the constellation Capricorn, setting earlier and earlier each evening. On December 21st, Jupiter and Saturn will appear to pass very close to each other in the sky. Although they will still be far apart in space, their line of sight with the Earth is nearly exactly the same. When planets appear close in the sky, it's called a conjunction, and conjunctions between Jupiter and Saturn are called great conjunctions. The Great Conjunction on the 21st will be the closest together Jupiter and Saturn will have appeared since 1623. They will be about 1/10 of a degree apart, or 1/5 of a full moon width. They will be most easily visible in the very early evening and set not long after sunset. Skilled observers may be able to see them with a telescope during daylight. Lowell Observatory will be doing a live stream of this event, so feel free to check out our website for more details. December 21st will also be the Winter Solstice, or the Summer Solstice for our friends in the Southern Hemisphere. This is the day when the sun appears the furthest south, or when the South Pole is tilted as far towards the sun as it will get this year. This is the shortest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere and the longest in the Southern. It marks the beginning of astronomical winter in the Northern Hemisphere and astronomical summer in the South. The Geminid meteor shower will be visible in mid-December, with its peak on the evening of the 13th and early morning of the 14th. The Geminids are one of the finest meteor showers, and since their peak coincides with the new moon, if the weather allows, this year should be an excellent opportunity to see them. These meteors appear to come from the direction of the sky of the constellation Gemini. The somewhat weaker Ursid meteor shower will peak on the evening of the 21st and the morning of the 22nd. The Quadrid meteor shower, often another strong meteor shower, will peak the evening of January 2nd, but will be visible the last few days of December. Meteor showers tend to show more meteors during the late evening, but even in the early evening, we should be able to see more than usual. The best way to observe is to find a place with a clear and dark sky, away from city lights, get comfortable, and just stare at the sky. On December 14th, visible from the southern parts of South America and Africa, there will be a total solar eclipse. Unlike lunar eclipses, solar eclipses are only visible from the particular regions of the Earth that the moon's shadow will pass across. This particular eclipse will only be visible from the far southern parts of the Earth. Since the sun is setting earlier, the autumn constellations, such as Cassiopeia, Pegasus, Andromeda, and Perseus, still linger in the sky in the late evening. The Winter Hexagon becomes completely visible during the early evening this time of year. This huge formation includes several of the very brightest stars in the night sky, including Capella in Auriga, Aldebaran in Taurus, Rigel in Orion, Procyon in Canis Minor, and Castor and Pollux in Gemini. Betelgeuse in Orion is an honorary member. The Winter Hexagon also includes Sirius, the dog star of Canis Major, by far the brightest star in the night sky. Later in the month, the constellations of Leo and Ursa Major will also start to be visible. December remains a wonderful time for stargazing with binoculars. The gems of the autumn sky, the Andromeda Galaxy, and the Perseus double cluster are still visible. The Pleiades and the Hyades, both of which can be found on the line to the right from Orion's belt, are two of the finest star clusters in the sky for binoculars. The Orion Nebula is the brightest star-forming region in the sky and is visible to the naked eye in the middle of Orion's sword, under the belt. This nebula is another spectacular target for binoculars. Viewing bright stars through a telescope or binoculars is a delightful, simple pleasure, and the brightest nighttime star, Sirius, is especially lovely. Sirius can be found by following a line from Orion's belt to the left. Later in the month, another nearby star cluster, the Beehive Cluster, will be up as well. The cluster can be seen in the center of the faint constellation of Cancer the Crab, halfway between Gemini and Leo. This month's deep sky challenge is the Crab Nebula, which can be found in the constellation Taurus. The Crab Nebula is a well-known supernova remnant, the remains of a giant star that violently exploded when it ran out of fuel. This explosion was seen by people from all over the world and was recorded by astronomers in China, Japan, Korea, and Byzantium. For nearly a month, it was bright enough to be seen during the day. The Crab Nebula is the brightest supernova remnant in visible light, but it's still relatively faint compared with many other famous nebulae and will require good viewing conditions to see. It will appear as a small, faint, glowing smudge through a telescope, about a fifth the width of a full moon. It can be found a little over a degree, or 2 full moon widths, off the tip of Taurus's eastern horn, just west of the star Tianguan. That's all for this December's Mars Hill Almanac. Until next time, happy stargazing!